Hey, so we're here at the end of July 2023. It's the 28th of July on Friday. Thanks for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. We put these out every week just with intent to make sure that you're getting the right information. We pull all this information from actual data to ensure that you are getting the best and most accurate, helpful information here for Phoenix investors and homeowners. So we're at the hottest July on record. We're finishing up right now in Phoenix, and it's really hot. I think there were more days at 119 than in all of history. Like there were 3 days at 119, and we've only had 5 on record ever. And then we've got like this month there were so many records. I was listening to it this morning. They were saying that there were so many records that were broken with our weather this month that they're going to be figuring these things out for a little while because it was just that hot. So if your AC wasn't affected, awesome. I want to thank North Valley Mechanical for making that happen as they serviced so many of our units prior to this year getting super hot. And I do think that was a huge factor in making sure that a lot of those units did not suffer. Okay, so let's get into the numbers. I wanted to, looking at what we're seeing in the market right now, it's almost a snapshot in time that all these things we've been talking about, from short-term rentals hitting the market on the luxury side and regular side, and what are people's options and what are they planning on doing with their properties, we're seeing this come out in a way that we're starting to see this compression on the leasing side. July historically is our busiest month for rentals every single year, except for a couple because of some anomalies. But since we've been tracking data, these are our busiest months of the year. And the summer is always picks up. You got, people moving from out of state with kids. They want to move when it's, even though it's hot outside, at least they're getting ready for school, and we're in good shape. This year, we're seeing a little bit of a trend that's different. Now, a couple things different on the capstone side. So one thing that we've done is we brought more people in to show our properties, more agents that are actually out showing, which is awesome. So as you'd imagine, the conversion from people that want to see our properties or who initially inquire to the point where they actually are seeing it, you'd expect will have gone up. And it has. That's awesome. So it shows that we're getting to more of those leads. We're actually scheduling more times with them. But there are a few different steps in between the point when somebody reaches out to ask us about a property to the point where they're actually at the property. And a lot of that is determined on whether or not that person is going to be a qualified candidate. A lot of it comes down to how easy is this person to coordinate showings. A lot of it is, and it's amazing to see when we go out there to show somebody a property, how many people actually book a time to see it and then don't show. We have stats for that too. Over the next few weeks, give it a couple of months, I'll break down all those numbers so you can see what we're seeing as we get through this busy season, because it's helpful, right? It helps me in understanding where is there a broken piece that we can fix to make it better. Well, what we're seeing right now is the market seems to be shifting, and there are pieces when we can't solve that equation, when we can't see where there's an actual broken piece in the process, it tends to be pricing. And let's get into it. All right. So real quick, which it's not allowing me to do, I'll just give it to you. All right. So right now we have prices for residential rental. We saw a peak in April. And as of last month, because the data I'm using for this is actually MLS data, because it's got multiple graphs that I've been able to build out that shows where are prices for residential rental over time, month to month. What's the inventory for residential rental over time, month over month? Where does it actually, from the sale to the original list price ratio? So if it's listed at $1,000 a month, what percentage off of that did it take to actually rent? So at $1,000 a month, if it rents for $900, then that was 90% of the total. So there's a factor in for that. And then how many days on market on the MLS did these properties sit before they were rented? So let me just give you a couple quick stats. In April of this year, the active median price on a rental on the MLS was $2,950. As of the last month, because this is trailing data in the MLS, it doesn't compile it till the month is over, it went down to $2,800. So we saw a little bit of a dip. For inventory for residential rentals, from April, we were at 6,200 houses, 6,200 properties on the market. That jumped up to 6,900 on the market at inventory residential rentals. So that jumped up a little bit as well. From price that it was listed in April, it was shooting for 97.5% of what we listed it for. 97.5%. That's down to 96.9. So people are having to come off their price even a little bit more on the MLS. Sold days on market for, and I say sold meaning when it actually moved, when it was leased, residential rentals since April, time on market back then was 35 days, 35.7, and we're consistent at 35.7. So the time on market has stayed the same for those 2 months, but this month, look, I'm stepping on myself. From April to June, we had 35.7 days on market average, cumulative, right? What we saw change and all that stuff I just said was price. Price came off, price came down. So that's what we're seeing. So again, we're seeing a lot of changes from people who priced their properties last year. People are coming off of those prices quite a bit. And it's kind of the market that we're in. Things are sitting on the market longer. You know, success in this market means getting pictures done as quickly as possible with the property being super dialed in. There's more competition right now on the market that we're seeing. So at the end of the day, like, we want our properties to stand alone. And that's something that, we've been focusing on, but at the same time, price is definitely becoming a factor. And as much as we don't want to say that, it is, because that's the piece that we can't control when it comes to, what are these metrics doing? What are they providing? How fast are we showing them? If the price is off and people are, prospective tenants are haggling with our showing agents every time they're in there, it starts to come back. And that's what we're seeing as well. I hope this information is helpful. We will do our best to keep this rental information in front of you as we continue to see these shifts and changes, because it's helpful. And again, what we do with it is what we do with it. But I think at the end of the day, like, this is a very, very interesting market. And, this is a Phoenix-wide issue right now. This is not just a Capstone issue or your property issue. This is a whole industry-wide issue right now that we're seeing, and we've just got to be paying attention and being on top of it. Hope this information helps. Have a great weekend. Stay cool out there. Look, I'm sweating my office. The sun right here, as it heats up, gets a little hot right there. Yeah, it's hot out there. Stay cool.